Hello, everybody, and welcome to the True Love Talk channel. Here we want to learn about human sexuality and love based on the teachings that Pope John Paul II left in the Theology of the Body. I am Elisa, and today's topic is the language of the body, but now to what are we telling our spouse when we have sex with them. So let's begin. So here's a point. There are two ways of understanding sex. We can understand sex either as a skill that you have to master, like knitting or dancing, in which case practice is very important because the more you practice, the better you become. Or we can understand it as a language, right? In which case, whom are we talking to? And whom do we want to talk to? And what are we saying? So, what Pope John Paul II said we were saying with the body when we have sex in genitality is, hey, I love you, right? And I am yours, completely yours, and that is why I give myself to you completely. And you can trust that this is true because I am giving you my body. And my body is not just this cute outfit that I had in my closet. This is me. So I am giving myself completely to you, and you can trust it. And the other thing that happens when we see sex as a language is that the other thing we want to tell our spouse is, hey, I I want you to be happy. I want you to have the best in life, including pleasure. So I want to satisfy you. But for that we have to understand that each person dwells within their own body in a different way. So what we have to do is learn, how does my spouse dwell in his or her body, right? And how do I satisfy him or her? And for this, the less I know, the better. Because it's useless to know how to satisfy the neighbor, or, I don't know, the person from the bar or that guy in college, because he's not the person that I want to satisfy. I want to satisfy my husband. So all I need to care about is how he dwells in his body, how he lives his body, and how to produce him the orgasm. And actually, the less, as I told you, the less I know, the better, because when I don't know, I don't make the mistake of assuming that, hey, my boyfriend in college like this, so let's do the exact same thing because maybe he likes the same. And because I don't know anything, what I'm going to do is actually listen to what the other person is telling me, right? Actually pay attention to what they like, how they like it, when they like it, and I don't make the mistake of doing with them what should be done with others, not this person, right? And that way both both spouses are there in bed, right, trying to tell each other the exact same thing. I love you, I want you to have pleasure, I am giving myself to you. So they create their own special language that only the two of them know how to speak and is matter when it comes to speaking, right? And but on the other side, when we understand sex as a skill, right? What are we telling the other person? Basically, we're telling the other person, hey, I am in this bed for me, right? You are here for me as well. And you're here for two reasons. Number one, you're going to be impressed by me. So I am going to impress you, and that is why I'm going to do all these cool things that I have learned throughout my life, right? So please be impressed and please tell your friends and family that I am one of the best you ever had. And the other thing that you're here to do is give me an orgasm, right? You are here for my pleasure. Is it, watch the difference. Of course, spouses, when they see sex as a language, they want to give each other pleasure. But the thing is, each of them enters the bed thinking, how do I give him or her the pleasure? Not worrying about getting their own pleasure because the other person is worried about that. So you don't need to worry, right? What you need to worry about is him, the other person, right? And they are there for the other. Here, when we see sex as a skill, We're not entering for the other person. We're entering for ourselves. And the other person better impress me. And the other person better satisfy me. Right? So basically we're telling the other person, yeah, I don't want to see you as a person. I don't care who you are, what's your name, what you like, what you dislike, if you're happy or you're not. Okay? I'm going to take away your dignity, your humanity, everything that makes you you, and I am going to use you as an object, as a tool for my to masturbate because this is what I want, right? We can masturbate when somebody else is there present. Even we can masturbate with another person, yes, we can. It will break the personalist rule that Pope John Paul II would talk about, in that says that the human person is has such a dignity, has so much value that the only good attitude, or not right attitude, the correct attitude in front of another person is actually love. If we don't love the person, we are being violent against them. But of course, we're taking away their humanity and their value and their dignity. But we are doing that to ourselves as well. Because how do we convince a person to give up his or her dignity? Basically, by saying, hey, yes, you will be my sex toy, but I will be yours. Right? So we are in equal conditions. We're here to, we don't have to care for each other. We don't have to care for each other's dignity. We just have to care about getting the orgasm, right? So we are taking out our own dignity and saying, yeah, I'm not worthy of being loved. And this is basically what we're doing when we're saying sex as a skill, right? And of course, it's far more satisfying to see it as a language, right? It's actually what God intended. This is the way of truly loving, and it's also the way of uh, taking care of the other person's dignity, of making them feel human, of making them feel worthy, of making them feel special. And the good part is because the other person is there for me, they are going to try to do that exact same thing for me. So they are going to take care of my dignity, my humanity. They're going to make me feel worthy, make me feel special, right? But to to truly live the sex as a language the way it should be, we have to understand that because it is a language that we are building with the other person, the first time is not going to be amazing, right? The first time is actually going to be pretty awkward. I don't know if I did good or not, or what happened, right? But after a few times, right? The person, we are going to be able to build that language, so we are going to be able to satisfy ourselves, and we are going to be sexually compatible. Any two people can be sexually compatible. The thing is, it's completely different to say and to be sexually compatible, I don't need to have learned anything from before. What I need to do is to actually listen and pay attention to the other person. Give myself time to learn, give ourselves time to learn, and talk clearly and listen well, right? So we build what is ours. However, in today's society, we're convinced that first we have to see sex as a skill, right? And then we get to the point where maybe it becomes a language because maybe we got married and maybe this is forever. But here's what happened. After allowing a lot of people to use us as as sex toys, right? Even if we wanted, even if we had orgasms, even if we enjoyed it, basically deep down we are understanding the message that I am not that lovable, right? I am not a person that people are going to respect or to love or cherish or actually want or value at all. So basically we start to think of when do I get to the point where somebody wants to settle, just settle for me, because they're not going to go for me if this is going to be about being a lovely person, a good person, a person that can be loved and respected. I am not a person to be loved and respected. I am the person, I am the second best choice, and actually not even the second, maybe the seventh best choice. So basically, one starts to wait until when are people my age going to lose hope and want to get married and just find me because there's nobody else to get married to, right? And we stop waiting or expecting our spouse to actually talk to us and say I love you, and we start expecting them to, hey, because it's about his pleasure. If I'm not around and he's horny, anybody would do, right? Because yeah, that's what happens when sex is a skill. Anybody would do. When it's a language, only you do, because only I can only speak to you, right? But when it's a skill, with anybody, right? So yeah, no, but I get married. At least I get this, and we give up our possibility of true love, or truly telling each other, "Hey, I love you. You're special to me," right? So it's far better. So we don't ever need to see love as a skill, sex as a skill, right? We are going to learn if both people enter the bed with the desire of loving and satisfying the other person, and they give themselves enough time to learn that, they will nail it. At some point, they'll get there. So, no, we do not need to learn how to have sex beforehand. We never have to see it as a skill, and actually, that protects us from losing this possibility of truly loving the other person. So this is today's topic, and with this we finish the idea of the language of the body. And on next video we're going to talk about chastity on parenthood. Okay, so I'm very glad that you decided to stay until the end of the video. If you have any question, any comment, please write it down in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer it as soon as possible. So it was great to see you. Have a nice day. Lots of blessings for everybody. Bye.